Today, we're going to deal with one really topical subject, which actually describing a cause of ED or potential cause of ED caused by microplastic. Recently, in the news, there was some report of men who actually underwent erectile dysfunction procedure, which is the insertion of penile prosthesis, was noted to have significant level of microplastic in the penile tissues. In fact, this study actually was published just in the month of June, highlighting that 6 men who underwent the actual procedures for the insertion of penile prosthesis, at the same time some samples were taken from the penile erectile tissues. And it was noted that all 6 individuals has got microplastics embedded into the erectile tissues. What exactly is microplastic? In fact, microplastic is when the actual particles, what's supposed to be inert, that is in our ecosystem, which is less than 5 millimeters. And all these microplastics actually has 2 types. One type is the one that actually is deliberately put into the sort of things that we use. For example, shampoos and also lotions. On the other hand, the second type of microplastics is actually the type of microplastics that is degenerated from the bigger form of plastics and eventually drain into the ecosystem. And when it is in the soil and in the air and also in the water, this is consumed by various forms of ecosystem, and it's actually contracted into our body in a form of touch, inhalation and ingestions. So in a way, we can assume that microplastic is all around us. And does that cause erectile dysfunction? The answer is we don't know, because when we find these microplastics in the erectile tissues, we have to make assumption that that itself may cause obstruction of the blood vessels, degradations of erectile tissues, or even to some extent inflammation. So for the second installations of putting Dr. G on the spot in the month of July, I would like to dwell into the causes of erectile dysfunction by smoking. Does smoking really cause erectile dysfunction? If you really want to know, then find out in next week's Putting Dr. G on the Spot.